views, opinions, and representations expressed on the Night Dreams Talk Radio Network and its website are those of the hosts, guests, and participants, and are not necessarily those of or endorsed by the network, its affiliated stations and broadcasts, the management, other hosts, or advertisers of the network. The shows found on the Night Dreams Talk Radio Network can, but do not necessarily, promote any particular lifestyle, belief, religion, political affiliation, or other personal practice. These shows are for entertainment purposes only, and are not intended to treat, diagnose, and or claim any cure of disease or condition, or give any medical or legal advice. You are listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio Network, from our compound to you worldwide, with your host, Gary Anderson.
Well, that is me. Well, down at the compound, we had snow again. Thank God it started raining in the afternoon. I went out to get into the car, and it was already 3 inches of snow, which is a lot better than 2.5 feet of snow. But, earth changes are going on. Anyway, tonight we got a guest, Wayne Wilson. He's going to be talking about Bigfoot, Dogman that's going on his property, and a whole bunch of interesting things, plus that a movie he's going to be doing. He'll be on right after this.
Please check out the Night Dreams Talk Radio website at www.nightdreamstalkradio.com. Also, if you want to keep our show free of advertising, just hit the donate button. Give $1 or $2. Remember, all prior shows are always free to listen to. We at Night Dreams Talk Radio thank you for your support.
And here I am with a little bit of thunder in the background. I hope everybody's had a great work week. One more day, and it's Friday. Wow. Hey, Wayne, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, bud. How are you?
How's the weather in your location?
I'm starting to feel like we're becoming a rainforest here. I mean, it's like rain, then a few days, and then back to the rain again. But it's cold right now. It's really cold, and it's getting ready to start raining again.
They for a long time they kept saying we're not going through earth changes, but where I live up in the Pacific Northwest, down at the compound, I'll tell you, this year and last year is really freaky. It was March of last year, one day. Our typical weather is like late or high 30s, maybe mid 40s. We hit 91 degrees for one day. Really crazy. Gone for the last few years without hardly any snow. Well, actually, no snow, no hardly any ice, but this year it dumped on us. So, I mean, things are going, and it's really strange.
To me, all you have to do is look at the sky, and you can understand why all the weather's like it is. Because there's things they won't tell us about what's going on in the skies, and I see it every day. If we have a clear, pretty sunny sky, next thing I know, there's planes in the sky, and next thing I know, we've got all these clouds. And to me, it's not natural that when a cold front comes in, there's all this really, really bad wind that comes behind it. And we used to me growing up, I always remember, and this is 10 years ago, even 5 to 10 years ago, when we had a front come in. Usually after a hurricane, there was wind. But even any other kind of front. But now it's like the wind comes in and cools us down immediately. It's like we'll be 60 to 70 degrees. Next day we'll be 35.
Yeah, it is.
And then that wind shows up, and I'm telling you, there's manipulation going on. It has to be. We're either that or we in some big trouble.
Well, I think we're really in big trouble. As you know, Antarctica is breaking up and melting. All that water is dumping into the Atlantic Ocean. It's raising the water levels. I keep telling people, if you own property in Florida or on the East Coast, maybe it's a good time to start selling it or go out and buy a houseboat so you can anchor it where your house used to be.
Luckily, the part of North Carolina I'm in, at least, I'm on the East Coast, but at least I'm in the middle. I'm more toward the mountain side of the North Carolina instead of the coast side. So I'm in a little bit shape, but I've seen those military things that they post about what it's going to be like when those glaciers do melt. Nobody needs to be on the East Coast.
No, yeah.
I think Mississippi is going to be our ocean front by then.
Good possibility. Where about? I was. I took a job when I was in my early 20s after I got out of the military for a company called Clark Boat Company in New Bern, North Carolina. It was really funny. I went there. And, the whole, from the West Coast is really a busy situation. You go in a grocery store, you don't talk, you just, go through the check lines as fast as possible. Now, this is many years ago. But I remember going into New Bern, North Carolina, going into the grocery stores, and everybody was talking for about 20 minutes. And then the next person was talking for 20 minutes. And it took like hours sometimes to get out of the grocery store.
It's kind of still like that here now. Especially with me right now, I could go in Walmart sometimes, like yesterday, and said hi to like 10 people, and the more this thing is growing, the more I'm getting recognized. But usually you can go in there and you'll see somebody and you'll talk to them. It happens to me. It happens all the time now.
Now, too, I think it's south of they're more friendly with people talking and stuff. Like I said, on the West Coast, it's just so much. Like just hey, get me out of here fast as you can. Everything is hurry, hurry, hurry. Bad way of life. Now, I got to ask you a question. Now, how long has this been going on with your property, like with Bigfoot and all these other cryptids?
Well, I would say you can go back to my whole childhood. When I grew up, I was in basically the same creekway as when I was a kid as where I first discovered those Bigfoots later on in life. So I kind of tied in that they've been watching me since I was a child. And but it was like I said, late 2015. In late 2015, I had seen a doctor. Doctor put me on like 7 different bottles of pills. I was beginning to forget how to get home, and I just decided I'm gonna go clean. I'm just not gonna take that stuff anymore. So I start taking vitamins and everything like that. Start figuring ways out to self-heal. I start more caring about my wife and daughter. I start wanting to stay home with my dogs. I didn't want to really go out nowhere unless it was with them. And before that, I was on the road all the time. Every weekend, in fact, I was filming pro wrestling for these independent wrestling companies, and I would be gone every weekend. But now it was my point in my life. I wanted to be with them. I didn't want to be with nobody else, and I gave all that up. And like I said, we were gone one night. We were gone for a few hours. When we got back, there was this big. Well, I'll put it this way: we pulled in, got home. I let my dogs out. My daughter come running in and said, "Daddy, there is a Bigfoot been here." And I said, "There's no Bigfoots here in this area." I said, maybe in the mountains, but I wouldn't think they would be in this area. But you see a 9 foot tall X placed in an open area, and it was so big and it was so massive, and it was hard to believe I was being pranked, because who would prank me? Nobody, because I wasn't no heavy Bigfoot person, so I wouldn't think I'd be pranked. And I started thinking maybe it fell, but it didn't even come from no tree. It was in that yard. So whatever it was brought there. It was put there, and it was put in a way where we would notice it.
Oh, wow.
And once I noticed it, and I didn't come to the conclusion it was a Bigfoot that did it at first. I told my daughter, I said, let's see, once all the snow melts, we'll see if there's any footprints out here. And bam, like I said, it was a 22-inch footprint I discovered in this really muddy area. It looked like one had stepped in. And they're real careful about leaving their footprints around anyway. But they left it there. And what it basically was, hey, we've been watching you. Now we want you to know who we are. And I started, like I said, I started looking for them after I found the footprints. I put trail cams up, and before I had put the trail cams up, they were, I could hear them out there at night. And I could find footprints during the day where they'd been out there at night. But when I put the trail cams up, the footprints stopped. and the activity stopped. They weren't coming in the yard anymore. So I said, well, they don't like the trail cams. I'll take them down. So I took them down and got the money back and went and bought a camcorder. And I said, well, I'll find them with this instead, you know. But I'm out there one day, and we're going to put this in. This is going to be in the movie because it's so important to this story. I was out there one day taking pictures with my cell phone of footprints that were out there, and something came over me to look across the road. So I turned and I looked across the road, and that was the biggest freaking Bigfoot I'd ever seen. I mean, I'm talking about TV or anything. This dude had to have been between 15, 18 feet. And black is all, and he was solid black. But I saw him later on, so I know he's not solid black. It was just the sun was beaming down on him. But
how much? Hey Wayne, how much did he weigh roughly? If you were going to estimate,
shoot, for somebody to be that big and I'm pretty sure this is how I kind of come up with the conclusion how big he was because of his footprint. I'm pretty sure it was his footprint. So you got to figure somebody with a 22, 23-inch footprint, he's got to be somewhere in the 15 to 18-foot range. You know, look at a basketball player. If they've got a 18, size 18, most of them basketball players, 7, 8 feet.
Yeah, they're about 6, 7 feet. Yeah.
Yeah. So you do the figuring, and you got to figure, but to see him that far across the road and see he was tall as the trees over there, that's kind of how I come to the conclusion. Well, and then I'll put it to you this way. Let's just move the story up a little bit. And then I went over one day because I wasn't getting no footage on my camcorder. So I went over one day and I started filming them. And I've seen them all, but I got back, no footage on the camcorder would play on the computer, but it was in the camcorder. But that night I was in bed about 5:00 in the morning. My house starts rattling, and I hear this, and this is I never ever will forget this. This is how it sounded, and I mean it was so loud that he shook the freaking window, and he was looking in the window at me, and I think what it was. He's warning me, you can't come over there where we're at, because they didn't trust me at that point. They didn't trust me, so they was like, don't come over there and come close, or we will come over there and it basically trying to scare me is what it was. But me, like an idiot, I was getting up trying to take a picture of him. I wasn't caring about he was screaming at me. I wanted to get his picture.
I will say that scream you did reminds